Just from my perspective, and being in advertising as long as I was, it's something that I've seen in stock photo books over and over and over again. So I don't see it as contemporary, because temporary in a way means also unique, even though it's something been usage, but I see something like this that we've used in that business for a long time. So something easy to pick up, easy to get.
So more of a commercial?
More of a commercial, exactly.
Okay.
I was just going to ask if this photograph had been taken this morning, would this still be, or would this be considered a contemporary photography?
Who sent this in? Would you like to tell us a little bit?
I don't remember who it is. It may be Callahan.
Can you tell us why you chose it?
It is a Callahan? I think it's Callahan. And as Mel said, she thinks it's not contemporary. I do. To me, it has a mysterious feel about it. You've got these people who are walking individually in all directions, maybe unseen by each other. There's just kind of a mysterious quality that gives me a sense that it's contemporary, because I see the same mysterious element in a lot of contemporary images. And I can't say a whole lot because I'm still learning. But
So the subject matter takes precedent over the date?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a question. When does contemporary photography become traditional?
I guess it depends what is traditional. That's probably another night.
Well, I mean, it's old enough, it could be traditional.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Dan picked it for a reason and thinks it's contemporary. Mel reacted to it in another way and thinks it's not contemporary. If it is, and we don't know who it was taken by apparently, if it was taken by Harry Callahan, then, I mean, by definition, it's not contemporary. And it has some qualities of that. It looks like it could have been taken by Harry Callahan. I think that if we saw the original and it was 10 inches square,
You might want to let him pick.
we could probably assume that it was by Harry Callahan or something like that, and it would not be contemporary. But I'm imagining that about 10 feet square,
Are they
and
mostly
by
black and
Jeff
white,
Wall.
or-
And I don't know if you know about Jeff Wall, but he stages
Maybe we'll
things
just
like
kind of zip
this,
through and
even though they're
key in a
dressed in
couple other
period
ones that I know are
pieces,
different.
period clothing.
Okay.
You wouldn't necessarily know it was taken today unless you saw the way it was presented.
Can we go to the next one? Oh, wait. You want to say? Okay. George has something here.
This image, to me, compared to the one, can you flip back 2 images? The one with the family picture? This illustrates something to me that is part of this contemporary, and by contemporary I think we mean current, trendy, the latest things. This is probably what would be called postmodernism. With its conceptualism, that you need this. To really get this, it really helps to know who these people are and something about these relationships. You need a little more information than is really right there in the image. Whereas if we click to this other one, I don't feel I need any more information about this. I can gather everything that's there right out of it. And that was one of the tenets, if you will, of the modern art movement in the first half of this century. And it's one that's still strong in my work. Just because, in my own personal belief, you can't control the context of the image once it leaves. It's not always going to have an artist statement with a plaque or a little anything explaining it. An image that is entirely self-contained, that you don't need anything else, will, 100 years from now, people will still be able to look at it and react to it and get what you want. Whereas if you lose if that gets dug out of if that other image gets dug out of a ruined building someday by another culture, what will they make of it without the text that goes with it?
Is it important, just real quick, is it important if the photographer's intent is not interpreted by the people viewing it?
We all have intent, and intent lasts until you're done with the print. Then it's up to the viewer. the viewer's going to take with it from it what they want. If you know M.C. Escher's engravings, woodcuts that are famous. I remember reading a quote where some woman shows up at his door and talks about one of his surrealistic images and came up with some fantastical meaning for it. And his images lead you to fantastical meanings if you want. But she was way off the mark of what he was thinking when he made it. But he very wisely said, if that's what it means to you, that's what it means. So people are welcome to take it. But I prefer things that they don't have to go someplace else to study about it, that everything they need is right there in the image.
I just want to respond to the few things that have just been said, because I think especially what George just said is fantastic, and understanding, I think, one part of, you know, the photography and modernism, which is at the Art Museum right now, right in the beginning of modernism, and what photography looked like in modernism, and then we have the art historians saying then postmodernism happened, right? And so the art historians don't know what's going on right now, so they call it contemporary photography. And I think that when we're thinking about work and understanding what modernist ideas are versus postmodernist, and then right now we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on now. And I really like that George acknowledged that you do have a modernist sensibility, and that's kind of how you approach the work. And the other thing I have a response is how one image can be self-contained and mean something or be really interesting formally or emotionally is also a modernist thing, where a lot of contemporary photography work is really relying on a body of work or a series, and a lot of contemporary photographers produce books so that you can see the entire body of work, so that it's not the context of the one image, but it's the conversation that the many images have with each other.
Yeah.
I think contemporary photography, like many contemporary arts, require to have some responsibility on the part of the audience as well, to familiarize themselves with the media. And some of the photographs that are self-contained and give you everything you need right away are fine, but sometimes can feel more shallow to the person who's paying a lot of attention to, say, a series of work by a particular artist, or somebody who's a fan of a musical group. I mean, you want to follow up that artist and learn a lot about them, and it helps you appreciate the subtleties of some of the newer ideas in their current work. So a lot of contemporary photography loses the general audience, but the connoisseur maybe can appreciate it a bit more. And that requires some work on the part of the audience that I hear a lot of people say, I just know what I like and that's all I need to know. And I think that diminishes your ability to understand very new work, which is missing out on some cool opportunities. So the responsibility of the audience, I think, matters a lot.
Personally, when I look at a photo, I don't want to know who took it, I don't want to know the title, I don't want any information initially. I want to react to what I see. Once I see something, I will then delve more into it, find out as much as I can, because once you find out information, it will change your perception of what you're looking at. It's always nice to just watch and feel and respond.
This is some San Francisco artist, and she's also a model, and I can't remember her name. But some of the contemporary stuff that floats my boat are portraits, because I've taken portrait classes in the past and really concentrated on getting them technically right. And I think you jump into the realm of contemporary photography when you don't worry so much about is the lighting perfect or whatever, but if you start working with feelings and trying to tell a story and you know, skip the technical stuff. So this thing was fascinating because it looked like it was all put together, you know, from the same person, but it kind of tells a story, but it's a portrait.
So more process is what you're saying. Okay. Next one. Sonia?
This is, again, I did say I was focusing on portraiture, even though I love to photograph the landscape, so to make sense of that, I guess. This is Helen Van Meen, and I find her portraits, one, incredibly beautiful, her sensitivity to her color palette, but also I really like the kind of psychology that's kind of embedded in her portraiture, and she photographs younger people, and most often they're not engaged with the camera, but engaged elsewhere in the landscape or off the frame. And